Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. It's Parrish. It's Spencer. It's... Hello, friends. Of course, I'm trying to fix things as we come live. But hello, friends. Welcome to the first ever live edition of the P.O.S. show. Spencer here. Parrish here. Technical difficulties, snafus afoot, but a great time to be had, of course, by all. Parrish, it's good to see you, man. We're sitting face to face.
It's nice knowing that I'm not the only one who forgets to turn their volume down on their phone. When
it is not very often that we have had to do this in this situation, but it's nice to be back together. It's nice to be hanging out. It's nice to be in the sun, and it is nice to be predicting another pay-per-view with you. Hell in a Cell taking place in just a few hours' time. Of course, a pay-per-view that you and I are both super, super excited for. So give me your thoughts.
The very last pay-per-view in the Thunderdome, too, by the way.
True. An excellent point. And I think for me, that's going to play a little bit into maybe a few of the selections that I'm going to be making tonight. But give me your thoughts as I pull the comment section up here. What are you excited for? What aren't you excited for? And everything in between.
I'm excited to see who's going to step up now that Roman Reigns is not on this card. I think that was a takeaway. Everyone complained about why Roman Reigns is having to defend the title on Smackdown against Rhea and why that match was moved. I thought this was a great way of just saying, hey, guess what? We have faith in everybody else that's on this card, and we want to make sure that they have a similar opportunity that Roman Reigns has. We know what Roman Reigns is, and I think it's not even an argument now that he is the most complete performer on the roster. Yeah. I think he's settled that debate a long time ago since he's joined up with Paul Heyman. But now who's going to be the guy that steps up, or even female, who's going to step up and actually steal the show tonight? And I think that's a very cool thing. My money still going to be on Seth Rollins and Cesaro, though.
I don't disagree, man. I think there's a lot to be obviously speculated on as far as how everything went on Friday night. And Reigns, that was a very different Reigns match than we've seen over the last little bit. I will want to point that one out first, and that Rey Mysterio really took it to Roman Reigns right off the bat. And it's great the way that they've been able, Roman Reigns is a real dominant dude, for lack of a better way to put it. And every one of his championship defenses, whether it's against whether it's against Jay, whether it's against any of them, they always are able to make you buy into the fact that he could lose. And I think that's massive. I'm excited to see what he does tonight, though, because at least for me, I can't see any possible way you leave your biggest star, and that's not a shot at anybody else. Roman Reigns is the biggest star in the WWE right now. How can you leave him off of a pay-per-view, right?
I don't necessarily think we won't see him on the show. We just won't see him in action. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because if the rumors are true and if they are steering towards a John Cena Roman Reigns match at SummerSlam, man, if you're able to actually witness a potential teaser of this tonight, I would actually be completely down for it. And I think it makes me definitely want to tune into Monday Night Raw, SmackDown the next weeks. Just don't give us the surprise now. Wait for that live crowd, but give us the teaser. Make us feel like when you're actually attending a show again, you know you're going to see something big. So I think this is a very important pay-per-view for WWE going into this new era with bringing back the crowds. But Roman Reigns is one of those guys. I think they want to make sure that they do every little thing correct with them, and they have been so far, and I don't think this is the worst thing.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more, man. But of course, let's break down the card. A few little issues got us started a little bit later than expected here because, of course, I ain't an audio expert. I ain't here to wow anybody with my technical abilities. I'm here to wow people and winning back that Love Wrestling Elite Championship that you are holding right there. And of course, the same holds true as it has for previous pay-per-views that rhymed unintentionally, but excellently, of course. Parrish picks, I pick. Whoever picks the most is going to go home, or I'm going to stay home with the Love Wrestling Elite Championship. Parrish has been carrying since WrestleMania Backlash. I, of course, the longest reigning Love Wrestling Elite Champion of all time. And let's kick her off, champ, with your first match. Who do you want to talk about first? Where do you want to go with this one?
I think the right match to open up the show actually is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Yep.
I think that's the best match to open up the show, and I think you open it up with hopefully a different match than they've been giving us, because I was actually extremely disappointed with the WrestleMania match simply because I saw everything they did before. They didn't give me anything different. They didn't do anything new. And quite honestly, Logan Paul, I don't give a what about him. So like, even
not a fan of celebrities in wrestling?
What? He's not even a celebrity.
Hey man,
Hugh Jackman knocked out Dolph Ziggler. That was like cool.
That's true.
But like, give me an actual celebrity, not a tool from the street.
He's got some fame behind him. I don't claim to have known much about him or know much about him or anything of that sort.
Some people talking about it doesn't make him a celebrity, and if even that, I mean, that's a whole different topic. Anyway, like,
we ain't here for Logan Paul. We're here for Sami and Kev. But like, and just to throw it out there, could you see him getting involved just for shits and kicks? My answer is an easy no.
Oh, that's a big F no. So yeah, that's a whole different P.O.S. if that happened. But with that being said, it's like, I don't see why you would continue this feud past this, unless you're going into something bigger, which I don't think they are. I don't think you need to. So I'm picking KO for the win. Simple stunner. And I honestly believe that he's probably going to do something with Apollo Crews next if it's not decided with the draft.
Yeah. I don't know though, man. Like I really, I'm torn on this one because for me the logic would be to give Sami his win back eventually, right? I think that they just need to capitalize on him more. Like, I think that this, especially with this feud over the last little bit, it's been not stop and start per se, but it's certainly been things where you haven't seen development over 2-3 weeks at a time, and then it starts, and they've been consistently feuding with each other, but not consistently feuding, if that makes any sort of sense.
They don't need a long build like most other matches here, because
true.
they've had the history that's logged in not only through the independents, but even through NXT. So they could squeeze out a 1 week build.
Great shout from Jeremiah in the comments. And ladies and gentlemen, just admittedly, I'm not as on top of the comments because I thought the phone thing would work out better than it admittedly did. So I apologize that I'm not as on top of them, but a great shout from Jeremiah. I would love to see Sami give KO the pop-up powerbomb.
Part of me kind of wants to see Sami hit him with a stunner.
Oh my God. I want all of it.
But with that being said, I also like to see KO give a haluva kick to Sami.
I've been wanting to see KO bring back the package pile driver for years too. So
yeah,
that's beating a dead horse. To be quite
we have
honest
to wait
with
for Vince McMahon to stop sucking that lemon and understand that your talents can actually perform these maneuvers.
I get that phrase now because they look sour in the face.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, my neighbors are all gonna think I'm an idiot.
And here,
probably do.
Well, talking about lemons, we popped a cherry at the P.O.S. show.
Oh, come on.
It's all about fruit.
But, of course, I've got to get back to my picks because, like I said, we've got a bit of a shorter time on this one. I'm going Sami.
Okay.
I'm going Sammy. You and I are pretty alike in a lot of the ways we think are wrestling. So I'm going to change her up here. I'm going to kick her off the bat with Sami Zayn winning against Kevin Owens. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, again, feel free to throw them in there. I'm really going to try and stay on top of them. Joe, great shout. He predicts a Canadian will win the match.
Not just a Canadian, a French Canadian. I'll do you one better. Le Quebecois Canadian.
Nicely played. Well done. And even solid pronunciation. My
Je
French,
suis d'accord.
my French certainly is not.
Which
all
means
that
I
good.
agree, by the way.
Oh, thanks. You filled me in there.
They got me through French.
I can ask where a bathroom is and order a water. That's the best I've got for you. But moving on, I want to talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship match. And I know that it's maybe a bit early, but we've got a couple of cell matches tonight. We may as well get one out of them early, one out of them late. And this is a match that, again, is I'm really hoping the end of a feud or the start to SummerSlam season or whatever you choose to put this timeline on. What's good, Throwback? Good to see you too, man. Thanks for hopping in. We're together again. It's a wonderful day here in Edmonton, Alberta. It's
wonderful
sunny.
Day in the neighborhood. Yeah, Mr. Rogers.
It's a wonderful day for a neighbor, Parrish. And you have chosen to be mine today.
Who have thought I would have actually have... Well, I mean, yesterday I did Bloodhound Gang on Blown Off Stream. Nobody thought that was a thing.
You've knocked some stuff out of the park over the last little bit.
In the first 4 show, I actually did ABBA. So who would have thought?
Becky and Bianca. Or Bayley and Bianca.
No!
They're all bees.
Yeah, and the
Sometimes.
stupid bees pissing me off. It's flying around.
Bayley and Bianca Belair. I'm excited as hell. It's another match that I'm really, really hoping is the end of a feud or even the start to another one. You know what I mean? Like if and I hate dirty finishes in a cell, but I don't see any other way. Ostensibly, if Sasha Banks is going to come back, I know she's announced for the SmackDown. What is it? 2-3 weeks from this point.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see there be a little more physical involvement off the bat. And I do think that there would be money to be made if you were to have maybe an interim match on Banks versus Belair versus Bayley at some point in there. You know, Bayley and Sasha Banks never really, outside of their Hell in a Cell match, oddly enough, like it was that and done. And there was really never any carryover. Bayley was off screen for a few weeks after that. I think that there's money to be made, even if it is Sasha coming back and saying both of you have screwed me at some point or whatever it might be. But again, I really don't want to predict a dirty finish in a Hell in a Cell match for the 3rd year in a row. I'd be frustrated.
I thought I had going into this match is like, how cool would it be if the first 4 people who challenged Bianca for the tag or for the SmackDown Women's title was actually the 4 horsewomen, like in consecutive row. Think about this: like Becky Lynch has been spotted at the PC. She could be coming back. A lot of people think she's going to go to SmackDown. What happens if Charlotte goes to SmackDown in the draft? And then and just look at the star potential you can give Bianca and the rub you can give Bianca for 4 competitors for that title. We're all 4 horsewomen, and she went through them all. I think that legitimizes her as a top player, because that's really the benchmark of the women's division are the 4 horsewomen. Yep.
I don't disagree with you at all. Throwback, I see your comment in there. I definitely do want to be touching on Brock Lesnar a little bit later on here because lots of good stuff coming out on the Fightful end. If you ain't subscribed to Fightful Select, here's the first cheap plug of the show, and we're almost 20 minutes in. But if you guys aren't subscribed to Fightful Select, they got some great updates on Brock Lesnar over on that end. We're going to be talking about him, but of course, we're going to be talking about the main event of Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre in a few minutes. But Parrish, I let you predict the last one first, so I am going to stick my neck out. I know it's a tough prediction to make on this one. Bianca Belair retains the SmackDown Women's Championship.
And I'm even going to go, this is not even going to be a close dirty finish. This is just a straight clean finish. I think Bianca Belair gets her moment inside the cell. And I don't even think anybody returns. I don't think you need anybody returning because Money in the Bank is the next pay-per-view, correct?
Yeah, and I believe it's that same, like after that SmackDown, Sasha's supposed to return. And if someone in the comments can maybe enlighten me, I think it's July 16th is that SmackDown. And then the 18th, if I remember correctly, is Money in the Bank. Yeah. So,
and then, that's why I don't think you need anything special tonight. And I don't think these 2 competitors need it, to be honest, and I think it takes away more. I also, again, I have Bianca in there, but I just think it's just a great showing. I think Bayley is an MVP of the women's division. A lot of people said it was Sasha during this pandemic era. I'm going on a hard disagree and saying it was Bayley. When it comes down to it, I think she owned it. And everything
they were so intertwined, though.
Yeah, but I do think at the beginning part of it, like there was so much Bayley and like
Bayley's turn was excellent.
And like it was just like she didn't need Sasha as much as Sasha needed Bayley when it came to their tag title run. I think, and that's like to me
that's maybe a debate for a different day because I like that one.
That helps Sasha kind of get back into it and platformed, which really was excellent because she is good.
Mm-hmm.
But Bayley to me is just on that different level. She's, I think, the most complete out of the 4 horsewomen.
Yeah.
And that's why she was my number 2 because I still think Becky was the best organically made star.
Yep. And it's a debate that I'm sure, again, we could all have
it's a
all
fun
the
debate.
time, man. Well, and it's one that like I've found my rankings changing probably 3 or 4 times as far as it goes, right? But tonight, Bianca Belair leaves carrying the SmackDown Women's Championship again. If you guys cannot tell, it's hard to read the comments on this dimly lit screen with my sunglasses on, but it's also too bright to not sit here with sunglasses on. So,
and it ain't the sun, it's the shine of this Love Wrestling Elite Championship over my shoulder right now. So, yeah, don't blame the sun because the sun ain't got crap on me.
I'm frustrated that you were allowed to make comments like that as carrying the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Ed, good to see you, friend. Jeremiah thrown in there. I feel like WWE needs Brock because of all the awful roster cuts, but I don't need him to return because I like what Roman brings to the table. And Florida on the release of Strowman, dude, you and I both, especially after being in a championship match quite literally 2 weeks prior. And I know that there was a lot of, again, great stuff coming out from Fightful and other incredible news sources out there that it was a lot of contract stuff rather than like a want to release, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. But there are a lot better people out there doing the news than I am. Parrish and I are here to predict stuff, and I'm here to win something tonight. Parrish, next match.
Not
what do you want to talk about?
correct.
We are saving Drew and Bobby for the main event segment. Again, friends, I promise you think a Saskatchewanite's not going to talk about Brock Lesnar. You're up a proverbial creek without a paddle.
Well, I'm going to talk about what I have already said, what I think could be this the show-stealing match, and that is Cesaro against Seth Rollins. I really thought, and I said this on a SmackDown recap show, that SmackDown needed a feud not involving Roman Reigns because there could be a chance people might have gotten sick and tired of Roman Reigns every other segment.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like how Drew McIntyre, in a way, has kind of faded out of a lot of people's, like, I need to see him a lot. And I think a lot of people just want to see him away from the WWE Championship. I thought Seth Rollins right now is in the best personal spot because now when he gets back in that championship picture, he deserves it. But he's also made so many new stars along the way, whether or not you want to go Kevin Owens from when they did the kind of the PC Mania. Yeah, that's what I'm calling it.
PC Mania.
But then when he had the amazing match with Cesaro at WrestleMania, who then had an even more amazing match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash. Man, this match, they're going to deliver once again. One of the best stories on SmackDown that doesn't include Roman Reigns, and because of that, they have completed SmackDown and start to finish. There's always a little bit of something. They've done such a great way of making the story relevant every week, and because of that, Cesaro is a star.
Yeah,
and it's a lot to do with Seth Rollins, who's actually experiencing his first Father's Day today, by the way.
Hey, great point. Now,
yeah.
That's a great point there. A happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Fathers, father figures, father-like figures in all of your lives. I hope they're all having a great one. And if you would like to share some fatherly moments with your father or father figure in your life, head to Love Wrestling CA's social media accounts. The lovely Zach from the Smart and Friends podcast went ahead and made the Dominic Mysterio custody coloring book. Check that one out. It's fantastic. And if you guys donate $5 towards our Tiltify campaign for the Trevor Project, which I'll throw the link up here in a second and answer some comments in a second, if you donate $5, you get an unwatermarked version of it because Zach is so damn nice. He wants you to be able to determine Dominic Mysterio's custody in pristine quality. So there we go. That was a nice little transition for a brief ad break on my end, Parrish. Now, as we get through the good stuff, I'm now going to lean a little bit forward and read here some comments that we've got. The Real Canadian Goose. I saw a guy at an RCW show in a Love Wrestling shirt last night. Yeah, you did. That's Len. Len is a hell of an individual, and give them a follow on edmontonsportsfans.ca. Oh, this freaking sun.
Oh, don't worry. You'll be able to watch people wrestle in Love Wrestling gear quite soon.
Yeah, Ed commenting as well. KO and Sammy on the card, and Cesaro and Seth Rollins on the card. pretty well makes it can't miss. Question for you on this one before we get started with our predictions, though.
Answer for you.
Did this one deserve the sell?
This was actually this is a match I thought could have been in a cell. I don't think it needs it. I actually don't think this is a match that needs to end the feud.
Okay.
I think man, if they're not building to a gimmick match at SummerSlam, like this is like the timing of this feud has been just impeccable in that sense.
Like a no DQ street fight.
Something and
Judy Bagwell on a pole.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd actually, if there was a Judy Bagwell on a pole match somewhere, I would try and make my way out there at this point in life.
However, I do think if they were to do a gimmick match, Seth Rollins gets the W. I don't think that. I think Cesaro gets the W. I just don't think you can leave him off SmackDown as much and then not force to give him a shine today. And I do believe Cesaro will get that shine. But I know, like, to answer your question, I don't think they need to sell because they're two of the best in-ring performers.
Big time.
And I think
big time.
And I think it was smart in a way to move that cell match because it allowed the females to have a cell. And I think we can talk about just the world today, but I mean, it was very important to promote your women properly, and especially a championship match. Especially somebody like Bayley, who you can correct me if I'm wrong, but she's never been in the cell, has she?
She was last year was the first for her.
Okay, yeah. Bianca has never been in the cell.
No.
And this is a really good thing because moving forward, you want to see this experience out of their females as well. So because of that, I thought they made the right picks for the cell matches. I think this is a great way for Drew and Bobby to end their feud. So the cell's fitting. But no, I don't think this match needed the cell. I think what this match, I would have loved to see a best out of 5, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bring that back.
Dude, I'm so down for tournaments or competitions in a longer, more clarified stance. I don't have a better way to put it. Like a playoff, I guess. That's a way better, more clarified stance. A playoff.
It's always more investing.
We're talking about playoffs.
To have a match where something's on the line.
Way to no-sell me on that one.
Well, I'm trying to stay on topic. And I'm trying to find out which one of us is dinging.
It was me a couple of times.
Okay. Because I'm just looking at my crotch and I was like, I know that doesn't ding. So.
Boo. Bad joke. Bad joke. I popped though.
My dong doesn't ding.
Ding dong, hello. There we go. We'll transition this one back to professional wrestling. I tend to disagree with you. Number one, I do think that this one could have been the one in the cell. I think there's a lot to this one, though, to be honest with you. I don't see this as the feud ender. I don't see it as anything along those lines. I'm calling Seth Rollins tonight. I think they've been trying to play up the tension with him and Roman Reigns, rightfully so. I don't think that's going to be the match, obviously, at SummerSlam, which if this is kicking off the road to SummerSlam, then, I don't know how you get from Seth Rollins winning tonight to John Cena versus Roman Reigns, for lack of a better way to put it. But if Seth Rollins is the guy to wrestle Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank, again, after their match, 3-4 years ago? Five years ago. Yeah. It was 5 years ago yesterday. Yeah. There's where the tweet came from. Yep. If they were to wrestle basically 5 years to the day or 5 years to the 2 days, whatever, I think it'd be a really, really cool piece of history for the two of them. Reigns can obviously play that into him. He lost the championship.
I know Ambrose ain't coming back
Seth
this
Rollins.
time.
Exactly, which I'm already excited for the shot that will be taken there because they always take dumb shield shots. I
believe so.
I think that Seth's got this. Well done. I think that Seth's got this one. I think that Seth is going to be the challenger at Money in the Bank for the Universal Championship.
Yeah, there's a lot of me that wants Seth Rollins in the Intercontinental picture, to be honest. I think it's refreshing again. But
that's a great shout. I like that.
And just because, I don't know, I think, I don't know, to me, it's just he doesn't need a rub in the heavyweight title scene right now. I think Seth Rollins is a legit opponent for Roman Reigns, and I don't think the time is to test him there. Plus, I do like the story of John Cena, who has been the guy that could pass the torch to Roman.
Would you say that Seth Rollins' time is up and John Cena's time is now?
No, I'd prefer to burn that idea down.
Good night, everybody.
But no, I just think there's a great story between Roman and John Cena to the point where if this was John Cena's quest to break history and to set him aside from and become that first 17-time champion, but in reality, he's really passing the torch to Roman. I think that's fitting. And then you go somewhere after. But I don't know. It's very interesting. I think Seth Rollins right now is in a spot where it doesn't matter where he is making somebody right now. And I think WWE, you're in a position where you need to make stars.
Yep.
And I think Seth Rollins right now is that perfect guy who's doing it.
Yep. Just reading in here, Jeremy. Oh man, I'm so excited to talk about Lashley and McIntyre. So excited to talk about Lashley.
One hear Spencer say a year and a half ago.
Yeah. No, you're bang on, but we've beaten that one to death as far as my rightful conversion to a Bobby Lashley fan. We've got 2 more matches, if my math's correct, left on the card here. We've got the Heavyweight Championship match, and then we've got the Raw Women's Championship. Honestly, man, and despite how many not complaints, I always hate using the words complaints, but there would have been a few things I would have done differently in the lead up to this Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley match.
Actually, it's 3 matches.
But who's the third?
Bliss and Shayna.
Right, that'll be quick. I'm of the belief there could have been a few things done differently. Even if we're going back to when Rhea Ripley was called up, I don't think that she was established very strongly either as a heel or a face coming up right off the bat. And she's someone who works both of those defined ass roles so well that sort of shades of gray for me didn't really work off the bat. So this maybe kickstarted a little slower for me than I would have liked. But at the end of the day, this is a match that's got the potential to tear the house down. It really does. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair are 2 of the most talented women in WWE amongst one of the most talented rosters in professional wrestling history. I'm very, very excited for the 2 of them, especially after Mania 36. Like, people do, and rightfully so, have the umbrage with the way that the match ended. That was the best match on the WrestleMania card by my money. And there are a couple contenders on that, don't get me wrong, but if I had to pick one, and I had to pick one right off the top of my head, that and the ladder match are the 2 that immediately come to mind. Yeah. This, I think, is going to be controversial, maybe. But I'm going Charlotte Flair.
See, I think this is a match where
I'm going Charlotte.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Charlotte. I know I've been hearing rumors that she's been perhaps wanting to take some time off. There's been a lot of rumors about her possibly wanting to get pregnant and things like that.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised. I think this is a match that really is going to shake up who's going to be like where the draft is going to really like who's going to be the main players on the female side post draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that they want Rhea Ripley in there. I don't think Charlotte needs this match in any way. I think there are title matches where, she does, stand to benefit from. Mm-hmm. But I don't think this is one, especially like you have a Becky Lynch coming back. Maybe you have a Sasha Banks coming over from Raw or a Bayley coming over from Raw. But those are a lot of fresh matchups with Rhea Ripley that I think are money draws, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Especially Becky Lynch, because that'd be a very aggressive match.
Oh, that'd be a beat the hell out of each other contest. My favorite kind of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
But hear me out. I'm sorry, everyone, because I can't see the comments, and I'm certain somebody already has
But with
said,
that being said, I am going to add to your point, because we are kind of getting closer to that Survivor Series where we might see a champion versus champion match. This is where we could see a Charlotte versus Bianca.
Yep.
I wouldn't be the worst idea ever, but at the same time, I think if you take this title off Rhea right now, you're just giving her another stop, start.
See, and I think that both Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair are going to remain on Raw. This is going to be the women's feud of the summer. And Rhea Ripley, and I know that she got the quote-unquote WrestleMania moment in beating Asuka in front of fans, but SummerSlam, by all accounts, when it's quote-unquote, and using heavy asterisks for this, the back to normal everyone's talking about. Rhea Ripley winning a championship in front of 70, 80,000 people is far different than winning in front of 25. And it's 2 very good, different problems to have. But I wonder, and I think that they do, in WWE's case, have the temptation to have Rhea Ripley get that SummerSlam moment. Or WrestleMania moment at SummerSlam, however you choose to phrase it, because there's all the talk about...
SummerSlam is their number 2 pay-per-view to WrestleMania. It's the WrestleMania of the summer.
Yep, and they've talked about this being the what's the best way to put it? They've talked about this being the WrestleMania this year. I tried to think of a more eloquent way. I really couldn't. They've tried to make this their biggest show of the year. They're calling out all the stops. We're going to talk about Brock Lesnar. And I think that giving someone a statement win in front of that many fans is too tempting for him. Charlotte Flair can carry a championship well.
Okay.
I don't think anyone would argue that. So I'm going to go Charlotte Flair defeats Rhea Ripley tonight.
Here's my devil's advocate. Why does the title need to change hands for this to still be a statement win? Why can't we just have Rhea be the kryptonite now moving forward for Charlotte Flair not to get there to where maybe Charlotte puts something bigger on the line, and then that's a statement win. And we finally, for the first time in a long time, actually see Charlotte Flair in a sympathetic figurehead as a heel, which we've never really seen.
But I think you can get that with her carrying the title. I really do.
Yeah,
but I also think that I'll let you finish up. I don't want to cut you off, but we also have to talk about
I'm just saying, like,
this gangbusters.
This is the perfect time to really set Rhea in like a level, because that's what they did with Becky Lynch. They could have took the title off her. They didn't, and she just kept growing as a star. And I think Rhea could be that next champion or next person. That's why I'm sticking Rhea Ripley tonight.
Sounds good. I am going Charlotte Flair. And of course, friends, give us your thoughts. Let us know. I see a couple in there, and admittedly, when the sun goes down a little bit, I will be hopping on those old comment section trains. Admittedly, I can do so right now. Wow, with the wordplay, says Ed. Hopefully you can bring that wordplay to SummerSlam. I absolutely will. Couldn't agree more with you as well, Jeremiah. Rhea is an absolute beast. And just another example of how good the young talent in not just WWE, but professional wrestling is. Like, you can speak to it. A professional wrestler's prime, quote unquote, is generally the late 30s. Rhea's 24, 25. Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Stone Cold says if you can get 10 years in the business, that's really where you really find yourself as a professional wrestler. And personally, I do agree with that, because that exactly happened to me. However, it's one of those things where when you see the Tyler Bates, the Rhea Ripleys, Rey Mysterios, if we want to go back that far, Kurt Angles, Trish Stratus,
Nice.
Ronda Rousey,
There's some shouts.
as examples of people who really picked it up very quickly and just, oh my God. Like, the talent in the UK, oh my God, when you see Rhea Ripley and Tyler Bate, oh my God, the young stars. Austin Theory, another big one too.
There's a lot of great pro
Oh my
wrestlers
God.
out there, and this maybe might be our topic for Sunday brunch, the
Yeah.
best under 25 next week. But we'll
I still have a monster idea that I'll talk to you after about.
I'm
but
excited on
it's
that
fun.
one. We'll chat.
Yeah.
We'll have some coffee talk.
We need 4 people though. 4.
Oh, God forbid we got to have 4 people.
I know.
Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler are doing a wrestle tonight.
I'm actually,
I think that Alexa Bliss is going to win, and personally,
Yeah.
that's
I have the same
that's
too.
my quota.
But I'm also going to point this one out. Everyone said they wanted to see more Shayna Baszler. Now you are.
That's a fair point.
So let's just. This is the beginning of something.
You know, man, I had a lot of faith.
Let's wait like 2 months and see like where this goes, and then we can criticize how this began. Because the fact we're getting Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler in a pay-per-view, we've never seen this match before.
True.
By the way.
But number one, like I do think that this will go a lot of the ways that her previous matches have, where it's almost like the split personalities that the Fiend showcased, where he would transition mid-match, and like she's done her a couple of times. I think she's going to again tonight. I wouldn't be
I'm never
gonna
if Nia Jax got involved though.
somehow Reginald.
It makes a lot of sense.
1-0 against Shayna Baszler.
No, but when
what
you
is
think about it,
frustrating.
isn't the proper feud really Shayna Baszler against Nia Jax?
Yes, but I also
And could that not be a SummerSlam match? Or
Shayna
Money
and
in the
Nia?
Bank?
Money in the Bank.
But
Money
I
in the
mean,
Bank.
seeds have to be planted
Mid-em.
for that match. And I honestly do believe that Shayna Baszler is going to be a monster babyface moving forward.
Saying the Money in the Bank acronym sounds like a frog. Riveting. Sorry for that. I'm not particularly enthused about this match, despite how much I love the 2 women involved. Because Alexa Bliss, like I've got a lot of time for the supernatural angles, and I think I've sat and defended stuff with the Fiend and stuff with Alexa Bliss, and I'm sure I would have defended stuff with Mordecai back in the day. I love the supernatural aspect of professional wrestling. I just personally think there have been a lot of missteps in this one for me, whether you're looking at Reginald.
Still a PG product. We have
That's
to
true.
think about like how much is missed doing this in a PG product opposed to if it was done back in the Attitude Era where you didn't have to deal with companies or corporate stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's
And that's a fair point too. But like I can only judge based on what I see, and like that closing angle on Raw was silly at best for me. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. And I do even think in that, like, shit, Shayna Baszler tried to sell that as best she could. I don't think by any means did she do a bad job. I think it was a badly written segment. You could put, who's a good actor?
Alexa Bliss.
True, but I'm trying to, damn it, Parrish.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. You could put him in a poorly written play and it
Kevin
was still
Costner.
bad. Kevin James.
Kevin Smith. Kevin Owens.
Wow, how did I miss on Smith?
Right.
Davey Boy Smith. There we go. Davey Boy Smith Jr. We'll play this later.
Been on a show with him.
We'll play this during the pay-per-view. I would like to talk about the main event match now, please.
Davey O'Doyle. Boom, local shout out.
Doyle rules. Let's talk about the main event now, please, because gosh, am I tired of talking about the last event.
Rock Fools. Yeah. Word life.
One of those dream shirts out there for me. The Ruck Fools one is. I want to get the Y2AJ. I want an original like Heart Foundation shirt. There are a lot out there, man. But
I want an Owen 316. I just broke your neck.
I want a Sheamus 515. Just broke, kicked your arse. Let us know your favorite shirts or stuff about Hell in a Cell. I'm real excited for the main event, dude, and I'm real excited for a lot of different reasons. Bobby Lashley taking on Drew McIntyre. It's a match we've seen before. It's a match that I hope we're not going to see again for the conceivable future. Drew, obviously, with the stipulation that if he loses, he can't challenge for the championship.
Yeah, as long as Bobby Lashley's champion.
Yeah, excuse me. That's a
Specifics.
very important point.
Oh, the sun went down.
Yes, exactly.
Can't see without my glasses.
I'm not very good at raising my eyebrows in an enticing manner either, so there are probably a lot of people out there saying they're never tuning in again. But if you guys do want to tune in again, every month, Parrish and I pay-per-view preview right here on Love Wrestling, and it's hosted lovingly by the folks you see in the corner there, Beercade YEG, the Edmonton home of professional wrestling, located on 105th and 82nd Avenue right here in Edmonton, Alberta. Of course, as restrictions are starting to lift, please, number one, make sure you do what is most comfortable for you. You continue to stay safe, but if you're feeling comfortable enough and you want to get out, support some great individuals doing great things, not only for helping us out personally, but helping out the entire Albertan professional wrestling community. Beercade is certainly one of the first places, if not the first place I would go, if not in Edmonton, if not in Alberta, then across this great white north that we call Canada. So,
you want to know what the people who are not locals can do, though? They can go to donate.tiltify.com/@lovewrestlingca/Trevor
on my
Project.
phone. Look at me. Look at me doing smart things.
So, yeah.
Dang it. I'm not going to do smart things right now.
But if you're
I haven't been doing them all show.
But I mean, and that's just the thing. We are still currently raising money for the Trevor Project. We still want to hit the new goal that we set at $2,000 because you guys are just kicking ass. And we reached that $1,000 goal way quicker than we thought. So thank you, everyone. And even if you can't financially donate, please spread the word, spread the awareness, because that's really the main thing here. If you can donate, that's just highly appreciated. But if you cannot, let's tell your friend, tell your enemy to be a better person and donate.
Wow. I'm not even going to follow up on that. That was well done.
I said that last night as I was drinking. Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
I appreciated that one. But of course, Bobby is facing off with Drew. I'm very tempted to go Drew McIntyre with this one, to be honest with you. Ever since Ziggler a few years ago, where he won the Intercontinental from The Miz, there haven't been very many loser leaves town, loser does whatever matches, loser can't challenge championships. There haven't been very many of those matches that the challenger or the one in that position of peril haven't won. Like Sonya Deville's really the only major one I can remember over the last little bit. And of course that, I don't know how that would have gone if there wasn't obviously the extenuating circumstances with everything.
Yeah.
I'm tempted as all hell, but I'm firmly of the belief that Drew McIntyre is going to get moved over to SmackDown as part of the draft.
Can I give you a scenario that I think could actually happen?
Is it a best case Ontario?
It's not a best case Ontario. It's the best awesome idea for a great scenario.
I like those. You can go ahead and tell me those.
And it fits in so perfectly because we all know that Drew McIntyre won his title for the first time against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
He did do that.
And we have not seen a Brock Lesnar since then.
Bork Laser.
And what happens if he gets so mad that Drew McIntyre's been, still in that picture, wanting to go after the title that he took from Lesnar, where we see Lesnar for the first time tonight, where if Drew McIntyre doesn't win, he can't challenge for that said title no more. And he not only helps Bobby Lashley regain that title, he screws Drew McIntyre in the process.
Are we talking the Bob and Brock connection?
No, we think we're getting that, but it's really Brock Lesnar. It's just going rogue, doing his own thing. He's erasing all competition from that title, where then now Drew McIntyre can now challenge for title. He then challenges for the title instead, and we get our Bobby versus Brock at SummerSlam.
I think that's something that's been a little understated in every Brock Lesnar
We could even get a Brock versus Drew at Money in the Bank to set up for this.
Put them both in Money in the Bank. I don't care. I just want beef. I personally...
Clip that one, people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am firmly of the belief that Drew's going to move over to SmackDown. I really, really hope that we end up angling for Brock versus Bobby at SummerSlam. Yeah. Like you mentioned there, though, man, one thing that's sort of a bit of an X factor for me in all of this is the fact that...
you're dealing with the X factor.
Nice. Is that Brock Lesnar is going to be a mercenary. Brock Lesnar is traveling alone for the first time in years. I'm at least assuming, and if I'm wrong here, to be honest, I might be a little disappointed if old Paulie is pulling double duty. If Brock comes back, I don't want him to align with Paul Heyman. I don't really want him aligned with anybody. I want one Brock Lesnar promo, and that's it. And it's something along the lines of like where he told I don't give a shit about your kids, or party's over, old man, like those typical one-lines.
What happens if he just comes out and says, "Where's my Jew?"
Oh, dude, no, not that one. Heyman can make that joke. That ain't for us. I'm very,
said
very...
that to Vince McMahon of all people.
Oh, Vince McMahon and the entirety of WWE have said some very questionable.
Brock, that wasn't a good promo. Give me my Jew back.
Hey.
Meaning Paul Heyman, who is by far one of the best spokesmen ever on the microphone.
I'm real excited to see what Brock could do without an advocate, a spokesperson, a Heyman, and anything.
Talk though. That's the best part.
No, but let's just get really.
He's the Incredible Hulk of WWE.
Brock's also got charisma out the wazoo, though.
Yeah,
and I don't
like a
think
Brock party.
It was incredible.
Ain't no party like a Brock party.
And
he's gonna suplex you now.
I am incredibly excited, dude, for his potential return. I just don't know if it happens tonight. Like that's where I'm racking my head. Is I don't
because
know.
Like that's a pop waiting to happen, but at the same time, I'm watching Raw if Lesnar shows up tonight.
Oh yeah,
and people need to watch Raw. Like they want people to watch Raw because it hasn't been good. So this is a good reason to make people tune into Raw.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
We might be able to do a react.
I just don't know, and that's the thing is like I've got a lot of time for it. And again, if you guys want some more information, because I'm not the guy to sit here and play spoiler for the hard work that other people do, make sure you head to FightfulSelect.com. They've got a lot of news up on Brock Lesnar and impending a potential of whatever return. So make sure you go and check that out as well. No mention on anything else other than that.
Is this the first time we're not going an hour on the show?
Probably, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know when the pre-show starts.
Yeah, that's
I'm really not 100%.
We don't even know what's on it.
I don't even know how to read.
Well, if you can't read the fine print, you're just like Mr. J. So good job.
Ha! Yeah. That's right. Those contract negotiations I've been doing so well in. I've got to call
better prescriptions, bud.
I got to call Bobby Lashley on this one. I don't think. I don't think we see Brock tonight. I think that Brock's going to come back in one of those first shows with fans, I think. I don't even know if it will be before Money in the Bank, to be honest with you. He's the sort of guy that I could see being there when fans come back. Again, I think that 16th, that date is the first day with fans in attendance, back on the road, all that sort of hoopla they've thrown at us. And I think you could see Brock make an appearance on the first Raw after that. So maybe the Raw after Money in the Bank, I could see. Maybe he runs in and ruins another Mustafa Ali Money in the Bank contract. And let me tell you, I'd cry. I'd cry if Brock Lesnar won Money in the Bank and cashed in on Bobby Lashley.
You know how you make Brock Lesnar like the best babyface?
Exactly how I just described Parrish.
What happens if you have Corbin like complaining on like Raw because somehow guys that happens. He has no crown. He's like, well, whatever, and he just comes in and beats up Corbin. Huh. Corbin doesn't need anything, and like everyone loves watching Corbin get beat up.
So we talk about Brock not needing to cut a promo or cut a promo
and beats him up.
I want Brock to come out and cut a typical babyface promo. I'm coming back for the championship. I never lost, and it starts right here in St. Louis, Missouri.
He did lose it though.
Well, come on, man. I'm not a promo guy. When the rubber hits the road and what have you. Your final call. I'm picking Bobby. I'm picking no Brock.
I'm picking Bobby Lashley for sure. Just because a title win is not how I would, in past tense, draw it or drew it up.
Have drawn?
Well, no, because Drew McIntyre.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. It's clunky, but it went.
Well, I mean, damn names in past tense.
Parrish, we tried our best and had fun, and that's what matters.
What would we call that, Spencer?
Trying our best and having fun.
No, what one word would you say that as?
Effort?
No. Begins with an N.
I don't know.
Ends with things you do when you put food in your mouth.
Energy?
No. I'm not saying the word, so you're not getting it out of me.
I'm not going to even try there.
No.
I'm very excited.
I'm really surprised you didn't say that. So where do you always say on this thing?
I know.
We said it in the car. I made you pop.
I know, but I can't give away the gimmick, Parrish.
Selfish.
But we never said
last thing, it's
otherwise.
one of those things where I do believe like we're gonna see something in this match. I don't like if McIntyre is in that position where he can't challenge the title, somebody might have cause for it. Maybe this is where we see Jinder Mahal. And we see Jinder Mahal against Drew McIntyre. Money in the Bank.
My microphone. These are expensive, though. I can't physically drop that microphone. But there's a great.
Don't worry, it's not like I'm dropping anything, and that includes this Love Wrestling Elite Championship.
You jerk. That's where we're going to leave her off, my friend. Friends, thank you for tuning in to the first live POS show. Not the first live POS show, the first live and in-person POS show. It is always appreciated, like always, when you guys take the time to tune in, say hello, throw us your comments, throw us your suggestions, throw us some shade in Parrish's case on my end. But that is
we need the shade so we can read the comments.
Thank you guys very, very much. It's incredibly appreciated. Of course, we brought it up a couple of times throughout the show, but we always do want to end off with making sure we give a quick shout out to what we are trying to do in raising funds for the Trevor Project. We hit our $1,000 goal about a week ago. We're currently sitting at $1,177. So if you want to head to the link as Parrish is plugging his social media, I'll make sure that I throw that in the chat here on Twitch. You can find it at donate.tiltify.com/@lovewrestlingca/Trevor Project.
I like how you looked at me to make sure you got that right.
You're usually the guy.
Yeah.
Usually I just throw the link up there. You read. We got this system going on that we've perfected over the last 6 months.
Yeah, I'm Barry Bonds on steroids. I always hit that one out of the park.
Liar, Sammy Sosa. Most people playing baseball in the 90s.
Put a cork in my bat.
But thank you guys once again. If there's a way that you guys can choose to support us throughout the rest of the month of June, we are raising funds until the 30th. We want to hit the $2,000 goal that we're aiming for. So please feel encouraged. Do not ever feel obligated to throw us monetary support, but that, if you're going to, would be a great way to do so. The other things you guys can do to support is simply follow us, give us some love on social media, whether it's where articles are written, tweets are sent, videos are viewed, or podcasts are played. It's all at Love Wrestling CA. The only difference is the website, lovewrestling.ca. That's where you can find everything I'm up to, everything the great contributors like Josh and Zach and the Turnbuckle Talk individuals and Goose and Frick. I feel like I need to name everybody. Man, we just got so much great stuff coming on. So stay tuned to our social media for that, because immediately following the broadcast, we're going to be sending out our weekly This Week in Love Wrestling.
I believe
so you guys can find out everything we've got going on.
Podcast.com/Love Wrestling. You can help us with
You can help us out in a lot of different places. But if you want to help out Parrish specifically, where can they do so, my friend?
Well, if you come to this undisclosed location, you can see me right now, and you can help me out by getting me alcohol. That'd be very appreciated.
Yeah, we didn't grab a water or a beer before we started this, and that's
this is the first dry episode of the POS show, by the way.
It is.
And
usually it's not like 2 out of 1, but it's completely dry. Good on us.
Call us the Boston Bruins because we're turning over a new leaf.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I'll take that one all day, every day. Well played.
But if you're on the Twitter by chance and you're saying, you know what, I need to follow someone, go to @ChrisParrish, because I'm only about 23. B, get the out of here.
B's been frustrating.
Yeah,
too.
Sting doesn't belong here anymore.
It's Sting.
But yeah, you can go there. I'm 23 away from, I believe it's 700 followers. I said that under my breath too.
I appreciate it.
But if you're on the Instagram, I'm Chris.Parrish. On the Twitch, that sometime I will start. You don't know the time because I can't tell you when because I don't know. It's at the Chris Parrish. And please go to lovewrestling.ca/shop where you can buy this t-shirt and more than anything. You can't find this belt because it's RVD. It's one of a kind.
And it's staying home with this guy. Now, friends, admittedly, in the efforts of needing to set up, I'm going to run our outro music here on Twitch. And as that's running, I'm going to be pulling up our raid for Mike Speedball Bayley, a great individual, doing great things for the Canadian professional wrestling scene, the kind of people that we love to support, and someone that you can find my interview with on Love Wrestling CA to put myself over a wee little bit. So friends, for Parrish, for myself, thank you once again for tuning in to Love Wrestling's POS show. We will see you guys next month for Money in the Bank. Back at Beercade YEG, better than ever. We're back in business. Bayley and Belair. I'm just trying to throw a lot of B's to close out the show.
And this B, well, one, we don't need Barbara Bush. Yeah, because that was BB. We don't need her.
Well, Parrish,
but like a good,
let's call her a day.
Like
for
a
this
good gunshot, because BB gun. We're out.
Thanks, friends. We'll talk to you soon.